Date the rate, marry the house. Why it was terrible advice. You've probably heard the phrase date the rate, marry the house. Realtors and loan officers everywhere were throwing it around in 2022 and 2023 like it was the smartest thing ever. Well, I'm here to tell you it was some of the dumbest advice the industry has ever pushed. Let's be fair. As rates skyrocketed in early 2022 and through 2023, people were simply desperate to find ways to keep buyers interested in purchasing homes. Suddenly, a new spin on the problem emerged. Don't worry about the rate. It's temporary. The house is forever, though, which became date the rate, marry the house. It sounded clever, easy to remember, and it kept buyers from hesitating. Perfect sales psychology. For the agent and the loan officer, not so much for the client. Here's the truth. When you marry a house, you are marrying the payment too. And the payments in that market weren't some temporary fling. They were fully amortized 30-year commitments. One of the angles being pushed was the temporary buydown. Maybe a 2-1 buydown where your payment is artificially lowered the first 2 years sounds pretty good, right? But it came with an unspoken wink wink, and sometimes that was a very loud spoken thing. Don't worry, you'll refinance before the real payment ever kicks in, and we will do it for free. First of all, and I help clients with refinances all the time, they are never free. Let me repeat, refinances are never free. The closing costs are either paid by the client, financed into the loan, or baked into the rate. That's fine as long as it's very clearly communicated and the client understands this. It's not the end of the world, particularly if the end result ends up saving the client money overall. In fact, in several states, it's actually illegal to promise or offer a free refinance. Anyway, back to temporary buydowns. A lot of buyers believed it. The paperwork spelled out the current payment and that it would increase over the years. But psychologically, buyers anchored to that lower temporary number. They thought the higher one would never actually happen, except refinancing isn't guaranteed. Rates didn't go down, they stayed up. Home values didn't skyrocket forever, they cooled or paused. And many buyers ended up stuck, unable to refinance, facing a full payment they were never mentally prepared for. That's the danger of oversimplified advice. Date the rate, marry the house ignored real affordability and gave people false confidence. And let's be real, a lot of families got hurt financially by buying into it. This is a textbook example of how people process money. We anchor to the first number we're shown. We want to believe the optimistic outcome, and we trust professionals to steer us right. When the industry leaned on this phrase, they took advantage of those psychological blind spots. Instead of protecting clients, too many pros sold the slogan and ignored the risk. Now, sure, there are some perfect examples of when to use temporary buydowns. Like when clients are expecting a significant salary increase, perfect example. I see this with medical professionals all the time, but it's not a blanket strategy that needs to be offered or used by everyone. To this day, it is not uncommon for clients to give me their comfortable budget while I'm pre-qualifying them. A lot of times that number is not as high as their agent was hoping for houses they wanted to show them. It lowers the limit on the home price they're looking to purchase. It's not uncommon for me to get a phone call a couple hours later where the agent calls up and asks, what about a temporary buydown? Here's the takeaway. If you're thinking about buying now, don't date the rate. Marry the payment you can afford today. If rates drop later and you can refinance, that's awesome. That's a bonus, not a guarantee. Look at worst case, not best case. If you can handle the full payment comfortably, you're in a safe spot. If you're counting on a future refinance just to make it work, that's a gamble. I'm not big on selling slogans because I believe home ownership should build stability, not stress. So if you're thinking about buying, let's run the numbers honestly, the real payment, the real risks, and the real plan. That way you're not dating a rate or marrying the house. You're building a future you can actually live with. If you have questions on a specific scenario for you, reach out to me or comment below and I will get you taken care of. Take care.